Hey everyone, and welcome to MPS tips video. And in today's video I will show you different ways of placing stop loss in your pattern trading. For demonstration I will be using MPS version 5.548. If you guys have a lower version of MPS, you are welcome to run your MPS update center. It will automatically download and install the most up-to-date MPS files into your platform. If you don't have MPS, never mind, don't worry. Well, the information will still be useful for you even if you use manual pattern identification. And before we start, I should give an announcement to you. On Friday 29th of November I start a Black Friday discount. It will be 50% discount for MPS, and this is a great opportunity, the greatest opportunity to get MPS in this year. Okay, let us start, and we should start discussing different stop loss placements. And the first stop loss placement is based on Fibonacci. So let's type this way, fibs, and let me show it to you how it works and how it actually exploited in MPS. And to do that we will need to enable some patterns. We have many of them, and I should probably make the algorithm larger. Okay, and let's disable this bull pattern and let's talk about this bearish pattern. So we have all those prices that are needed, and here's the details of that pattern. Its stop loss is 105 XA leg extension. So let's place it here, 105 XA leg extension. What this means, if we will calculate our XA leg as 100%, 105 means 5% above the XA leg. So if we will change this to 113, it will go to 113 Fibonacci extension. So 113 is a bit larger. Let me stretch Fibonacci's from X to A, and you see 113 coincides exactly with 113, 39.2, 39.2. Okay, let's delete this Fibonacci. Another stop loss methodology is to use the invalidation point, and for different patterns there are different invalidation points, and I should enumerate them all for you to understand what are the invalidation points. For example, if we have a Gartley pattern, if we have a BAT pattern, yes, if we have a cipher pattern, and if we have standard shark pattern, so let me call it STSH, standard shark pattern. I call it standard shark because of 886 completion. So the invalidation goes to X point, so your stop loss should go beyond the X point. Okay, if you have alternative BAT pattern, yes, and alternative shark pattern, they have completion at 113 Fibonacci extension, at 113 XA Fibonacci extension, and consequently the invalidation of this pattern goes to 1.272 of XA. So it has asterisk here, or we may have nothing. XA. Okay, alternative BAT and alternative shark, 1.272 XA. Your stop loss should go above this Fibonacci level. If you have a butterfly pattern, its completion goes to 1.272, but its invalidation goes to 1414. You should not have your stop loss below 1414. because the butterfly is not invalidated yet if it does not hit 1414. If it hits 1414, then it becomes invalid and there is no need to stay in the trade anymore. Okay, this is for butterfly. And if you will have a crab pattern and a deep crab pattern, yes, they have completion in 1.618, 1.618 XA. Sorry, I should not type that. And the stop loss should go the invalidation point to 2 XA. So here are the invalidation points for them. Gottlieb bat, cipher, and standard shark is the X point. Alternative bat, alternative shark goes to 127.2 XA. Butterfly 1414 XA, and crab, deep crab, goes to 2 XA. Okay, perfect. And this makes sense if you will calculate some amount of pipsage above the X point. For example, you wish to place your stop loss, let's say 10 pips above your X point. Of course, you should mind your broker. If you have additional 0 here, this means that you should type additional zeros here as well. To use pipsage stop loss, yes, you should use a special code name, and this code name looks like this, pips. So the second, instead of fibs, you should type pips. And in the first slot, you should type the amount of pips. For example, you want 30 pips above the invalidation point. So let's type 30 and additional 0 because I have 5-digit broker for Forex pairs and 3-digit broker for yen pairs. That's why I type additional 0. Okay, so this will place the stop loss 30 pips above the invalidation point. So let's calculate this amount. I will try to be as precise as possible to hit the X point, and let's go to here. It is somewhere 30 pips and approximately 30 pips. This is the best thing that I won't calculate it manually, that I can calculate manually. Okay, so this is 30 pips. Another stop loss placement is not based on invalidation point. It is based on the entry, and this idea was born long ago when I was calculating average correction size of different pairs, different patterns, and on different time frames. So what is the average correction size? It is this thing. For example, you have an uptrend or downtrend or whatever, it doesn't matter. So the movement that installs new lows like this is an impulse. Yes, if we don't install new lows but install new highs, then we'll have an impulse in opposite direction. And if we stay inside the previous movement range, for example, this was the impulse and this movement stays inside, then it is a correction. So the average correction size looks this way. You calculate the correction, yes, you calculate another, then you calculate one more, and this one, it's a correction between these two impulses. Then you calculate another correction, and then you calculate another correction, and you calculate the last one here. So what you do, you actually then calculate the average correction size. I will simply set them into one line, and then I will find something that is average. So the average is somewhere here. From here to here, it is 142. So let's say the average is 150 pips. So this was our very approximate calculation of average correction size. But of course we should use some algorithms that calculate these corrections automatically. Okay, so if we have the average correction, yes, and we have a downtrend here, and you know that your average correction is 150, then you can trail your stop loss using that 150 range. Here's 150 range, like this. So when price will exceed that, you should better get out of this trade, because it is exceeding the average correction size, and the probability that price will resume downtrend, the downtrend is less. The probability is that it will continue in opposite direction, because the movement is greater than your average correction size. So this is only an idea that I created long ago. So maybe you will use it, maybe you will not use it. It doesn't actually matter, but you can always use it as a stop loss. And to use that as a stop loss, you type it this way. We agreed that we will have 150 pips and additional 0, and we know that this is the buffer where a reversal should take place. So we simply calculate 150 pips above the entry for every pattern, like this. So maybe it is this one, 150, and this should be enough for our pattern to work. And then we can trail it, and as you can see, it was not hit, it was not hit, and only here it was hit. So we had all this target from here to here, which is large enough. Okay, and to calculate your stop loss based on entry, you should type a special code name that means entry pips. Entry pips. Entry pips. Very simple. So if I will change this to entry pips, and if I will type here 150 with additional 0, yes, then my stop loss will go 150 pips above the entry. You see, 150. It doesn't matter if it is above the X point, below the X point, it only calculates the stop loss above the entry. By the way, using fibs, you also can place the stop loss below the X point. If you will simply type 0.9 fibs, as this 0.9 is less than the XA leg, then it will place the stop loss below the X point. Okay, so this was method number 3, pipsage above entry. And another 2 methods, they are very much alike, these two, the pipsage and entry pipsage. They are ATRs, so we type ATRs, and if you will use ATR code, let's have it this way, ATRs, and then let us have one ATRs. Then it will place stop loss 1 ATR above the invalidation point. Because Gottlieb, Bad Cipher, and Standard Chart have the X point as invalidation, that's why it places 1 ATR above the X point, and it calculates the ATR that we had at the C point. So the ATR is calculated at the C point and 30 candles before that. So this is the range for calculating ATR from C point and backwards 30 candles, because the average through range is the average range. It's not the range of one candle, it is the range of several candles. Okay, with MPS it uses ATR period 30. Of course, if you wish your stop loss to go 2 ATRs above the invalidation point. Of course it will go to ATRs. So 2 ATRs, 107 pips. Okay. There is another method of calculating this. It is using ATRs above or below the entry. Professional traders say that if the market is going to reverse, it should reverse within 3 ATRs. Within 3 ATRs. For example, you have defined your potential reversal zone, your support, your resistance, or whatever, and your maximal buffer should be 3 ATRs. If the market does not reverse within 3 ATRs, it is not going to reverse. Most likely your level will be broken. This is what most professional traders say. And if you are a fan of trend following systems, and if you like Richard Dennis and Total Traders, they were using 2 ATRs as initial stop loss. 2 ATRs. So they were saying if the market is not going to reverse within 2 ATRs, then it is not going to reverse at all. Okay, so let us use 3 ATRs above entry. Above entry in this case. So let's go type 3 here. And because we are going to use ATRs above entry, we should add additional E here. So the code name looks like this way: entry ATRs. So simply changing it this way, 3 entry ATRs, it will work perfectly. So we type that 3 ATRs, and we see our stop loss turn to 162 pips. I just calculated that 150 approximate average correction, and it coincides, almost coincides with 3 ATRs here. If the market is not going to reverse within 3 ATRs, it's not going to reverse at all. Okay, so this will be enough for a reversal. And of course you can later use this 3 ATR method as your trailing stop. You trail it, trail it, trail and trail until finally you get out at this point, and this is your net profit. Okay guys, hope you like this video, and hope you find these methodologies useful. If you have your own methodology of placing stop loss, you're welcome to type down a comment. Just right now type down the comment with your own stop loss methodology. And don't forget about Black Friday on 29th of November 2019. MPS will be discounted 50%. Okay, you can find the link in description, www.mpstrade.com. And that's it. Goodbye.